Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Smoke Your Pipe and Be Silent. Today, you're invited to a special experience that is a first for me, and that is a first of trying perique, this special tobacco made in New Orleans where they pressurize it in barrels for a year and it becomes very fermented and wonderful. I have a blend that I have been wanting to try for a long time that is finally come in the mail, and it is this one, HU Director's Cut. Oh man, it is a beast. We've got Kentucky, Burley, Virginia, perique. It's got some coin cuts and some ribbon cut and some broken flake in there. And it's got these really cool little coins in there that are really tiny. Oh man, I've been wanting to try this for a long time, but it sells out quickly at the place where I buy tobacco from. And oh man, it is a pungent bouquet of aromas. It's like leather and sawdust and hay and baked goods, as you say for Virginians, right? Dark fruits and just musty and earthy and good in all kinds of ways. It's just strong and pungent in all kinds of ways. So I've wanted to try this blend for a long time, and I've also wanted to try perique blends for a long time. I have a couple tins in my cellar that have some perique in them, but I haven't cracked them open yet. And this one has gotten me so intrigued that I just have been waiting to try perique with this one. And so I've got my 7LA673 loaded up with some HU Director's Cut. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a light, share some first impressions, turn the camera off, and then come back as I'm halfway through the bowl and give you some impressions of what's going on then. Have a wee splash of Buffalo Trace to help me on my way. And we'll give it a shot. And then, as I don't just want this channel to be completely pipes and pipe tobacco related, I've been thinking about the issue of respect. And should we have respect for everybody in all kinds of views that are out there? Let's think about that. But you are now part of my very first experience of a perique blend. So let's give HU Director's Cut a try together. Here we go. Let me see. Okay, let's give it a charring light. It's a charring light. Let's give it another one. Let's give this a little. It was pretty moist coming out of the tin, so I gave it some drying time, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but we'll give it a little another try here. This is hard to get lit. Keep my neighbor's dogs barking their heads off. Oh man. Wow. Man. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Oh man, where have you been all my life? Okay, first impressions, sweet, full body, full flavor, creamy, complex. Baked goods and raisins. Ooh. I'm going to give this one some time. I'll come back with some impressions halfway through the bowl. But first few puffs, man, is this good. I'm going to give this some time and be quiet for a while. We'll see you in a few minutes. Okay. I've been smoking this for about 20 minutes. And man, oh man, this stuff is phenomenal. It's got a consistent sweetness and complexity and full flavor, and the nicotine's a little bit more on the medium side. It's a little stronger than I'm used to. Most of the stuff I smoke is pretty mild, but I often find when I try new blends that the first time I try it, I think, and then the second or third time I try it, I think, oh, and then I finally get it, you know. This time around, oh man, first time through is just phenomenal. So if I'm going to be getting more out of this blend in the next couple of times I try it, then good golly Miss Molly, is this stuff good. I think the perique, if that's what I'm tasting, just gives it a full fruity, not fruity in like a, if you fruity aromatic way, but fruity in like a solid raisiny, just full body goodness. Oh man. I can definitely taste the perique, but it's balanced out by the Virginias and the Burleys and the Burley and the Kentucky, and oh. If you can get a hold of HU Director's Cut, then do it. Oh man, this is not the last time I order this stuff. Anyway, getting on to other things, because I don't want to just talk about tobacco. Respect. It's one of these words you hear thrown around, and you hear that you should have respect for people that are different, have different opinions, or you should have respect for this, that, and the other thing. Respect for the government or those who sit in government positions, or you name it. Should you have respect for everybody? Should you respect all opinions and all things that people say? Something I've been sitting with, especially when it comes to the internet and the tendency for really stupid comments or what I can interpret as really stupid comments to be dominating the online discourse that is the world of posts and comments on stuff that is the way the public discourse works nowadays. Should you respect everything? And As I've been thinking about this, I realized that the answer is probably yes and no, as it often is. Or rather, no and yes. Should you respect everything you hear, everything people say? No. And let's first start with saying that what's respect? What does respect mean? And if you look up the definition in the dictionary, then respect means two things. On one hand, it means admiration for the accomplishments or views or statements of actions of other people. Respect in a sense of admiration. And the second sense that respect is used is in terms of regard for the opinions and experiences and situations that other people are in. Sort of accepting and regarding the fact that, okay, from their perspective, I can respect and understand what they're in, what they've gone through, and why they think the way that they do. Two very different things that revolve around the same word. And I think a key to understanding this is that respect ought to always be connected to humility. That humility and respect go together. What that means is respect is something that people deserve as far as admiration is concerned. To respect somebody means that they've done something that you respect in the sense of admiration. And not everybody is worthy of that kind of respect. But on the other hand, there are people who say things that I or you may totally disagree with. But if you stop for a second and allow yourself to take a humble pill and think, wait a minute, I think what this person has just said or just commented on online or is in the news for something, I think whatever they've done or said is stupid beyond what I can understand, right? Or whatever the case would be. I don't have to respect that in the sense of admiration if somebody has done something that I think is not worthy of admiration. However, at the same time, I can have regard for the experience and perspective of that person. As well as regard for the tendency in the phenomenon that is being right and wrong at the same time. I talk about this a little bit more in my video on giving people the benefit of the doubt. That if we realize that we can often be right and wrong at the same time, that I may be right in my objective, whatever the details of it is of what I want to say, the actual content of what I'm saying, I can be right. But I can be wrong if I'm not loving. If you consider that the guiding standard of all your actions towards other people is to be loving in a sense. Or I'm right, but I'm prideful, that there's something in me that is putting myself over other people, judging them, and thinking that I am the standard of what is right in the world. Then that is wrong. That can be wrong even if what I'm saying is right in its content. And so when I think it comes to the day and age that we're in, we are bombarded by statements and descriptions of what's happening and comments from people and posts of all different kinds of things that are meant to get us into reacting in different ways. Should we respect these things? Should we respect everything that we hear online? In the sense of admiration, definitely not. Definitely not. Far from it. And I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that we actually ought to react in a negative way to much of the things that we are bombarded with, to not just allow ourselves to be fed with impulses and things that are just nonsense or that are damaging to our soul. We shouldn't respect in a sense of admiration. But in all things, I think it is important to be respectful in the sense that acknowledge the fact that the person that is saying something because of the set of circumstances, the set of experiences that they've been through, where they are right now. Somebody commenting online about something that is just a stupid comment. That person doesn't realize they haven't connected the reality of what they're writing to the reality of an actual person on the other end of the screen. They're living in a pretend world where their opinion is the standard of what is right for everybody else. And then they feel entitled to say all kinds of stuff that is not necessarily worthy of our admiration. Far from it. And it's important to speak up when we are seeing things that are being spread that are lies or that are damaging in a sense. But in the sense of humility, I can stop and say, okay, this person that is saying something that I don't agree with, they have their reasons for saying that. And I may not agree with those reasons, and those reasons may not be virtuous or good in different ways. But I can have regard for their circumstance, for their background, for whatever it is that is causing the way that they are talking about things right now. And in that sense, I think if we choose to respect what other people say and what their experience is, even if we don't agree with it, then in the same time we secure our own humility. We make sure that we root ourselves in a humble attitude towards other people and towards even our own opinions, to think that, okay, things that I am completely convinced of are true, right, appropriate. Okay, I could be completely correct in that in an objective sense, but I am inserting my opinions and convictions into a world that is dynamic, diverse, full of people who don't agree with me. And in a sense, we have to meet each other in our mutual wrongness in the sense of only having a portion of the picture. For none of us has the full picture. We all have just a portion of the picture. And from that perspective, I think it's important to meet everybody with respect, both what you read from other people and also what you answer to them. It can be tempting online when you don't see the person, when they're not sitting across the table from you, to react in a sharp way and really put people in their place because you're right and they're wrong. That could very well be true. But I think we're all responsible for creating a place of discourse online, especially, but in all cases of discourse, but especially online, where we don't allow the screen to create a disconnect between ourselves and the person on the other side of it, that allows humility to be something that we don't value anymore, and makes us feel like the only kind of respect that we're due anybody else is that we're not doing anybody any kind of respect, because that has to do with admiration. And I don't have to admire you. I don't have to think that whatever you think is right. I don't have to respect you if you don't earn it. We can think that way. And in a sense, we're right. But I think if we totally disregard the experiences of other people, of thinking that the person that I disagree with thinks that way for a reason, even if I think it's wrong, it may be right in thinking that it's wrong. If I don't respect them, then I'm missing an opportunity to meet an actual person and help them to take a step closer to the truth, and maybe a step closer to seeing themselves in a context that can lead them in a good direction. And so should we treat people with respect in everything that they say? Yes, absolutely, because that secures our own humility and that helps other people on the way. And in a sense, that helps the entire world to move in a better direction. And so think once or twice before you react emotionally in an action to the way people do things or say things online, especially online, because I think that's where we today can often run into trouble. Something I've been thinking about, because some of the comments I've been reading different places just get me going. But at the same time, I need to respect the fact that the people that I'm talking to have a different experience and a different reason for doing what they're doing, even if I think it's wrong, and it may be wrong. Anyway, thought of the day. I'm going to keep smoking this phenomenal blend. It actually has a much more pleasant, natural room note than I would have imagined. This one's coming back. This has been Smoke Your Pipe and Be Silent. Have a good day.